back to Whitt Acres. This is the first week of October. It's still beautiful out, so many things are still blooming, and plenty is still alive out there that hasn't died back because we haven't had a frost yet, which is supposed to be coming up pretty soon. We usually get it around the first week of October, but looking at the forecast, we might get an extra week out of this year. So we'll take a quick look of how the property's looking this fall, because this is my favorite season. So let's go take a walk around the property and see what the gardens are looking like this time of year. But first, out here at the end of the island, you can see we have some stone and rubble laying around. This is because we're going to be putting the fireplace out here now. So this is going to be where we burn garbage and just debris from the property, branches and whatnot. So I have to get all these large stones into a rectangle, and then we have a metal container we're going to be putting in there to actually burn inside. But they're big stone and we got to get them moved. We got some beautiful purple zinnias still blooming out here. These are giant purple zinnias. And then these are the big red zinnias, and they're all still blooming out here, bringing plenty of color to the island on this side. I will be doing a video here shortly on rearranging all the perennials in this island. Oh, look at this. This is the first week of October, and I have a beautiful iris blooming. Look at this bearded iris. The weather's been so weird this year that we have some weird blooms going on. Look at all those blooms coming up down there too. That's awesome. Got a blooming iris, and it's first week of October something. We got some more iris here that are done for the season, and the petunias are still putting off plenty of color. Hopefully that'll reseed again this year. I'm going to be adding lilies to this area, and I will be having dozens of extra irises once I dig these out, split them up. I won't have enough room for them on this bank. I'll have to find some more locations to plant some irises. But in here we got some weeds. I got my porcupine grass going to seed, so it's settling in nicely. That should get nice and big next year. My pathway's working out still because the zinnias in here are shooting off some color. I think the coleus back there is still blooming nicely. And I believe I still have some blooms on my abelia. Let's take a walk in. Come in here. Still got blooms on the abelia. Tiny little trumpets. Get that to focus. Either way, it looks really nice. Got some weeds coming up in here. I'll be doing all that. I'll be weeding this whole area and moving some plants and separating other perennials. I've got my hydrangea in here. This is the firelight hydrangea, and it is all bloomed out. We got some cosmos, tight little bunch of cosmos here, blooming nicely. And I bet the liriope, I'm just getting settled in this year, still has a couple pieces of color. On the back of the island, we don't really have anything but a lot of weeding to do. Gotta do a lot of weeding here. There's some lilies and yuccas in here that I'd like to pull out and get into the sun. But we have a nice azalea in here that will be blooming next year. Nandina over there. And then one of these has a plantain lily in here, but it looks like a rabbit's eating off all my leaves. The food forest is about done. Oh look, the volunteer sunflower coming in late. We still have a couple raspberries. Actually get probably a handful of raspberries off of this. That's nice. And that volunteer gourd just took over the whole end of this sun side of the food forest. Completely covered it. Like I said, that's why I have the pergola to grow them vertical, because if you let them go on the ground, look how much space that takes. I think this is only one plant too, maybe two. But it took over all the zinnias. Took over my raspberry bush here. All these pink and orange zinnias taking over. Got a nice calendula though. That's going to be blooming for a long time. If you haven't seen them, these are the gourds that are in here. called Caveman Club, or dinosaur arm or something. I don't know. But that's a volunteer, so the birds planted that. More calendula blooming. If you're looking for something to last into fall and winter, calendula or calendula is a very good choice. My herb garden here is exploding, and I have plenty of marigolds blooming, and I still have sage and everything. I just gave a guy I work with some thyme and oregano, sage and lavender, because they want to cook some meat. So that was nice. These still have the flower buds on it, and they're almost done though. Some of those will be perennial, so we'll see what lasts in that barrel. I'll leave it out all year. I got these tomatoes that completely fell over, and they are done for. Everything has been pecked at, or the bugs got into them, so I can just rip all those tomatoes out. Behind my shadow here is more peppers that I just did get some picks off of, because I made some hot pepper soup. Not hot pepper, it was stuffed pepper. Made some stuffed pepper soup with bell peppers. So you can see I still have bell peppers coming. So I might make some more, because that stuffed pepper soup's starting to become a favorite. Really good. Speaking of weird things blooming, you can see I have a pomegranate flower coming on. I don't know if it's going to try and create a fruit out of that or not. Hot peppers, didn't want any of those this year. More calendula and another zinnia patch. So the zinnias are lasting fairly long into the season. Got a nice little butterfly on there. Oh, where'd you go, butterfly? There you are. So yeah, got a nice little pollinator patch out here, and you can see they're still using it. My okra, still have plenty of that, but not a huge fan of it. Still have yet to try it deep fried, but that might be the only thing to save it. Down here, my poblano peppers. I don't know why I grew these. I thought they were going to be good for stuffed peppers, but wasn't really keen on the flavor. I don't know. Still have more bell peppers. You see I got a California bell pepper turning red right there. Plenty more hanging. More bell peppers over here. So it's actually surprising to have all this still going on in the fall. Sweet potatoes, definitely don't have any of those. This is a really nice calendula. I like that one. This is the Balls Officinalis calendula from I believe rareseeds.com. So that was a nice oranger variety. My red Malabar spinach is going to flower, so it's starting to bolt. Have nice little pink flowers coming on them. If they'll focus. Yeah, little pink and white buds on them, but something is eating it. Something ate the nub right off it, probably the deer. So it's topped. It's probably gonna just flower and die off now. Plenty of green salad onions. So these still are good for breakfast and everything. We've been picking them and using them, but you can see I got plenty of them. I always plant way more than I need, because I know the animals are going to be taking some. You can see the deer even came over and messed up one of my azaleas. So I'll probably prune this back. You can see it coming up from the ground again, so probably prune that back and let it regenerate a little bit lower. Over where I have some French dwarf marigolds, or marigolds, and a puppy, is a huge wall of basil. So this is all basil. So I should definitely have a ton of basil volunteers next year, because I just have a bunch of it going to seed. Massive wall of basil and Roma tomatoes, all the way down to some more blueberry tomatoes, which that would probably be a good one, because I like these a little bit underripe. I don't like them fully ripe because they taste too much like a tomato, and I don't really care for the tomato flavor. Got some beautiful borage right here. Got purple and pink on, or yeah, purplish blue and some pink. That's a gorgeous piece right there. You can eat those flowers too. They taste a little bit like cucumber, but nobody I know really raves about it. We've been getting some dahlia blooms, and I've been picking them for arrangements because you can't really see them out here. They start falling over. You can see this one fell over. So I've been picking them and bringing them closer to the house so we can enjoy the color. We've got the floodlight yellow. That's the purple Taheo. I don't know what the red ones are. We've just always had them. And these ones were the ones that survived the winter being out here, the red ones. And all these other ones are new. This other purple one we have over here is my favorite. You can see it's a gorgeous color of purple, and this is the lilac thyme. So if you're looking for a nice purple, try the lilac thyme dahlia. We got this massive Fuja growth this year. It is about chest level, so we're looking at probably 36 inches of growth this year. Way down here, that's a healthy tree. I'm really hoping the deer don't find it. So far so good. Coming back on the pathway here, I got another Thuja and another Thuja there in the corner. Right behind my eggplant on a stick, or pumpkin on a stick, is my black diamond crepe myrtle. So it's supposed to be a best red, blooms all summer and fall, good 6 weeks of blooms, but I just got it in the ground this year, so I'll be waiting for those blooms next year. I think it'll add some nice dark foliage color back here. The pumpkin on a stick, hey puppy, pumpkin on a stick is still blooming nicely. My friend will probably come over and grab a couple of these before they fully soften, so get some use out of them and some more fall decoration. More calendula down here on the corner that I get to see every morning. I believe I probably, yep, still have eggplant too. Eggplant was okay, I had it with my zucchini, but it wasn't like, ooh, I need more eggplant. Up here's a fat gourd. I can't believe how fat these things get. Like, this is a cross from last year, so it's a different, not a true variety, but wow, that is gonna make some bird pretty happy. I'll be curing these. I have a video on that, how I make the bird houses, but I'll be drying these all over the whole winter. It takes about 3 months, and then I'll be creating some bird houses out of them and different crafts. Got my silver lace vine up here still blooming nicely. Puppy's down here, with my new anvil. Just like old tools laying around, old pieces of equipment as decoration. We got this little rooster pumpkin, and this is a little purple crepe myrtle bush, grapeolini or something, and it's still trying to finish up. I got my hammock in there for swinging, and you can see how the gourd just drapes over the pergola beautifully. Covers the whole thing by this time of year. Just love it. I have the entryway right here. You can come in, and it's probably 7-8 degrees cooler in here with the shade from the leaves. Hump up. You like it in here. We got another fat gourd up here. Gonna make a beautiful birdhouse. This one as well. You got 3 good big ones. And then we have some dipper gourds in here, some longer ones. You can make a spoon or something out of that. I will be making some different types of, I actually did get one of these that was big enough to make a birdhouse last year, but it doesn't look like it this year. These apple gourds definitely get big enough. Some of them stay too skinny, but there's definitely a couple around here. Let's see. This one could be a birdhouse for sure. This one for the smaller songbirds. That'd definitely be big enough. But I got more coming on. They're still growing because, like I said, we've still been having some nice weather. I didn't get any of my long gourds, which would just be a long bean like this. You can see I have it, but I think it's a little bit too late for them. They're not going to produce. My gherkins pretty much made a nice full wall. They're 8 feet up now, which is nice. Finally made it up there. You can see plenty of little gherkins hanging on here. Nice little fresh lemony cucumber snack during while you're out in the garden. I got an echinacea down here that's still blooming some color, next to a bunch of gourds I just threw down there for color. And I have this big beautiful grass. It's a maiden grass, miscanthus. and it still has another stalk. I cut most of them off for my fall arrangement, but still putting up another seed pod. See these gourds just dangling down here beautifully. Love it. I want to kind of shut off this with plants, maybe bring the honeysuckle over a little bit, get that to be more green wall, keep that as the doorway, and then that grass is definitely going to get bigger, and that's going to start filling in, and the trumpet vine on the corner is going to start getting bushier, so that'll all fill in, and then this will be a nice little shady cove. See, puppy's already enjoying it. Hard to see you down there, pup. You blend in. Yeah, I'm thinking hammock there. Got another hammock for this corner, and maybe a nice big hammock in the middle. We'll see. We'll see. I have some watermelon and some gourds and some blue Hubbard squash just laying around. And I planted some dianthus in between my blue fescue, and it's trying to bloom. Blue fescue, more dianthus, and that one's even blooming there. So they're still trying, even though I got them in real late once they went on sale. In here, my pot's still doing well with those coral bells, the red portulaca in there. Looks like the petunia is still blooming as well. Look there, nice Merlot petunia. And then we did just have a hibiscus bloom yesterday, so it's still going on. We got some buds, but it is getting pretty cold at night for that hibiscus. This corner worked out really well this year. Nice little tree, got the calla lily on the corner, and then down the bottom was a hosta that's all overtaken by some type of weed. And then we had the black dahlia up here, black dahlia. Either way, it is a gorgeous little center spot flower. Get a little bit bigger and have that little red flare sometimes in the center, coming out of the center. It's a nice dahlia. Probably move it next year because it wasn't as showy as I wanted it, but it's still a nice dahlia to see. And we still have poppies in my shadow. Look at all these poppies still blooming. Gorgeous. I only got yellow, and then I have a ton of 4 o'clocks that are covering this area, but it's midday, so no 4 o'clocks right now. You can see I have another dahlia. This is Myrtle's Folly, and it still wants to put out some blooms. Got plenty of heads right here, so hopefully we can get a couple more warm days and it'll actually pop open. Back behind here, a 9 bark. Have another shadow, but this is where my amaranth is, and it's all falling over now. It's about done. It's starting to drop a ton of seeds. Amaranth is a grain, so it drops millions of seeds, but I still was able to use some of that for my cut flower arrangements too. I think the front out here is looking really nice. Got some fake flowers on the post that I made. Little hangers with butterflies on them. Little stanchions for holding pots. This is a Dracana spike. It's still alive. And then just one of my pumpkins and some fake fall leaves. Got a matching one on the other side. And I think it's looking real good this year. Got the purple mums, the lime green coleus, and a 50-pound pumpkin puppy. Another matching stanchion, looking good. And then I have the scarecrow and pumpkins out here as well. A little grass, some purple mums, more fall decorations and gourds, some yellow mums and purple petunia. And you get these little dollar scarecrows that everybody has. A little family of ducks with the sunflower and the marigolds, all looking just beautiful this year. I did weed out the hosta bed because it was getting a little overtaken by the weeds. You can see all here waiting to get mowed up. So the hosta bed's looking a lot nicer and cleaner, and they're still blooming. So I don't know why my hostas are still blooming. Still putting off new flower buds as well. So I don't know what's up with that. It's not really the season for them. They should be done and all seed potted by now. But whatever, they can keep blooming. Alright, impatiens are looking real good over here. And so is the fuchsia, still blooming in the back. I thought that was gonna get bigger and fuller, but maybe I didn't give it enough sun. Over here, my big red zinnias are just full and dangly. And then I finally told you that the annual burning bush was coming, and it's finally here. They're in full glory. You can see the green down below still, but where the sun's hitting it, that's flowering, and they are on fire out here. Get a whole new feel out here now that the big area of color change. Up here, the burning bush is going off, and the red knockout roses as well. Got the canna lilies still blooming up in there. That's why I'm not cutting those or digging those out yet, because they're still going. The burning bush ring all the way around. Looks good with a even deeper red of the ranunculus going down the side, the coxcomb. And then you can see this big ornamental grass, excuse me. I don't know what it is. I got it from a friend's, but it's loving its area. Come in here, we have a split stone crop I've showed you and got arrangements from, since it's already a little bit out of shape. So I'll need to be splitting that up this year and spreading the love around. Got the canna lilies still blooming, the elephant ear is all still up. I even have peppers in here, because this is my jungle garden. What food do you have in a jungle but peppers? So I've been able to harvest peppers constantly. Bunch of them. Coming out towards the road, we have a moonflower. This is the datura, and it is blooming beautifully. That'll keep opening up. It's still pretty tight in there. This one just finished. You can see stays a nice tight frill all the way through. And then you get the spike balls. This is the moon bush right beside it, the annual version. And you can see the spike balls already forming on that one. That's just a plain white trumpet. And the datura is supposed to be perennial and get a little bit taller, and it has the purple and white. I just noticed Puppy stopped moving and he's staring at me. So what that means is there is a golf ball near. Go Pup. Out front, one of our focal points is this red crepe myrtle, another crepe myrtle. It's being overtaken by a volunteer morning glory, so I'll have to get that off. But you can see the beauty of the purple hyacinth bean vine over here. We got it climbing up a broccoli plant, I guess, is the structure it's holding on to right now. You can see the old broccoli and all those little squash, cabbage beetles, cabbage bugs. But yeah, that's what's holding up this beautiful purple hyacinth bean vine. So that's lovely. I don't know, that purple sprouting broccoli is what it's on. You can see the bugs. You can see these bugs I have all over my purple sprouting broccoli out here, but I don't know what they are. I know they're cabbage, some type of cabbage beetle or bug, but yeah, I just don't know about the purple sprouting broccoli because it's just never produced a head. I got big plants, but I have no flower heads. So got another one of these grasses here because clematis is planted here and it likes its shady feet. Look at this reblooming going on right now. This has bloomed early summer for a long time, but now it is coming back and it's blooming on both sides of the mailbox trellis again, with the purple hyacinth bean vine beside it. Just gorgeous, and a purple petunia down below. Loving it. This is a ground cover. It's called chameleon. It's a chameleon plant, and it's doing well. Looks like something's eating it, but I did have one over there behind that stack of watermelons, and it's coming back a little bit smaller, but at least it's coming back. I like that plant. So I have some gourds here that keep falling over. I don't even know what they are. They're just, like I said, I just grow these for decoration, but they're a weird type of gourd, so I like just putting them out so people can see them and see the different types of things you can grow. Hostas at the bottom, keeping them green. And then down this line I have volunteer nasturtium is really what is the star of the show. I want to come out here and clean up this area, get it all weeded out and weed whacked down. Got some petunias shining through, some nasturtiums here. Love the nasturtium flower. This whole plant is edible. You can eat it, whole thing. Flowers, leaves, anything. And it's actually kind of good, kind of peppery. But the bees and the Hummingbirds love that plant because it's trumpet shaped. This is the castor bean, just getting massive. It's about, I would say, 7 feet tall now. And you can see it's starting to put on all its spiky seed pods. So I will be making a seed harvest video, going around collecting all the seeds I want for next year, and keep a lookout for that. This is my white pampas grass, and it's the only grass I have that's not putting off a shoot. So I don't know why, but I'm still waiting for the white pampas part of that grass. All the elderberry, wild elderberry, is going to seed now too for the birds going to berry, so that's good. Over here is a yellow nasturtium that volunteered, and a big patch of 4 o'clocks that volunteered because I had one here last year. Puppy trying to drop his golf ball down the manhole, and we got a big old carpenter bee pollinating this late blooming hosta. Just gorgeous. Look at this yellow on this nasturtium too. That's a nice different variety, nice pale bright yellow. And this is my giant Palawonian tomentosa, world's fastest growing tree, also known as a royal empress. It's just massive. 3 years old that tree is. Coming out here, I have some hollyhocks to clean up, and then the pink ranunculus starts up again, and there's another golf ball. Poppy, you left a golf ball out there. This has been looking good all season since I got it all put in. I have to do some weeding out here, but that's no big deal. You can still see the blue shining through, the yellow, the blue jean baby Russian sage with the carpenter bees all over it. The Sarah Smile yellow rose is finally putting on a bloom for you guys to see. Very bright yellow. And then we have the black-eyed Susan. This is a evergreen interest that will be working for the winter, and it is a juniper, I believe, sea of gold juniper, so that'll get bigger. And then I have a blue star juniper over here to keep the blue and gold going for the winter. And then you guys have seen the big hedge already. Gorgeous. This is my one good hydrangea, just doing great. You can see the deer eating it, but it's still putting on a nice batch of blooms for what it's all been through this year. Go back and see what has happened with all these. I do have some berries on my hollies, which is nice because I don't have a male pollinator for these, so I'm hoping there's just one close enough with all my neighbors. This hydrangea's fallen a little bit, but has plenty of blooms on it. These had to get planted, dug up, and replanted because we had a giant maple tree fall, and I had to dig them up and replant them to save them because they were going to get crushed. So they are struggling, all the hollies as well. You can see where the fence is gapped, that's where the maple tree fell, and right where I'm standing is where it was. So still trying to get the grass fixed here and get things looking back to normal. Over here we have some cleome, some goldenrod, some red zinnias, elderberry, some stonecrop, sedum, and a big beautiful dark foliage red hibiscus. Gorgeous. This is one other thing that I wanted to show you that was weird, is my rhododendron, purple rhododendron, tried blooming. It's not supposed to be blooming right now. Thing got confused thinking it was fall or spring or something, and it's only fall. So yeah, anybody else have that? Let me know down in the comments below. Did you ever have a rhododendron pre-bloom in the fall? Strange. I'm Pop. The candy bubblegum petunias from Proven Winners are doing amazing. I got a sea of them, just beautiful. They just don't stop. This container's about done, everything's fallen over, but for the past 2 days that has been a nice punchy arrangement. Just a gorgeous lavender purple with yellow and pinks. Love it. There's still a good bit of color over here on the bank, but you're not allowed to see it all. I have started construction on the koi pond, so you'll have to watch the koi pond video for seeing any of that progress. But I did want to show you that we still have some blooms going on in the red bank area with the zinnias and the petunias. Just beautiful still. So I'm trying to work around them with the construction of the pond to keep them lasting as long as possible. Thanks for coming along with me and Puppy to see what's blooming. Hopefully we get another couple weeks or two here before the next frost, or the first frost that is. And then we'll be working on some fall projects, getting different areas ready for the winter. So stick around, hit that subscribe button, hit that like button if you like what you see, and comment down below if you want to tell me something. You can see me and Echo on the next one. Thanks for watching.